green brain, also part of RMIT. I'm sure somebody thought that was a good idea when they were designing it, but fuck, it's pretty ugly. Guess we don't get everything right, do we? But lots of blue sky behind. What a great city. Hey, good morning. Thanks for joining me. The Morning Walk, episode 73. Coming to you from Melbourne this morning. It's a sparkling start to the day. Spring is here, although it's still pretty freaking chilly. So just walking up Lygon Street, which those of you who know Melbourne know that this is like one of those busy restaurant places full of people in the evenings. And it's kind of awesome because, like a lot of the morning walk, it's just kind of super quiet. I just have it to myself with all these other people heading into work or wherever they're going for the day. This is such a great city. Let's take a walk around. I came up here last night for dinner at a classic Lygon Street establishment called University Cafe, which has just been there for forever. Got very good memories of having dinners there with one of my old mentors, Tony Adams, and his wife Pauline. And like this morning, walking down the same strip, everything was all closed up, nobody around. It's kind of really cool to have that different experience of the same place, if that makes sense. First, when it's alive, the heart beating hard. Because Lygon Street does have, allegedly, some of the best coffee in Australia. And then this morning, basically it's just asleep, sleeping off its hangover. I don't know. It's pretty chilly out here this morning. You can see all the pigeons hunkering in the sun, getting the early morning light. They're right to do so. One of the things that I absolutely adore about Melbourne is the fact that, yes, this is a big city. I mean, strictly speaking, it's Australia's second biggest city, but it's growing faster than Sydney. Therefore, it's likely to be Australia's biggest city sometime in the nearish future. But yet, everywhere you go, you can still see the sky right here in the CBD. It's just like when they planned this place and as they built it, they did the right thing and left enough space to create these beautiful wide streets and wide footpaths. And even with some of the relatively tall buildings about these days, you still can see the sky. I don't know. I think even if you love the city vibe, being in a big city, it's still always nice to see the sky, isn't it? Yeah, it's funny, like Sydney, gorgeous city, right? But it's kind of like it's the bold and brash and ostentatious, gregarious, young 20-year-old, modern and gleaming. Melbourne is like the kind of cultured, disciplined, methodical alternative. I don't know if in the long run, disciplined and cultured and methodical doesn't give you a little bit more, if you know what I mean. Big call from somebody who grew up in Sydney and who absolutely loves it. Just coming up to RMIT, the Royal Melbourne Institute of Technology University, and this actually is an absolutely beautiful institution, right in the heart of the CBD. But it's kind of got this pretty incredible mix of old architecture, old buildings. This place dates back to the 1800s. It's one of Australia's oldest universities. Of course, it was a technical institute for many years and became a university. But they've done a really good job of blending old and new. The green brain, also part of RMIT. I'm sure somebody thought that was a good idea when they were designing it, but fuck, it's pretty ugly. Guess we don't get everything right, do we? But lots of blue sky behind. What a great city. Sydney used to have, I think, the world's largest networks of trams, and it ripped them all out so he could build more roads. It goes back like 50 years or so. Ripped out our entire network of trams. Go figure. And now, of course, they're spending billions of dollars to rebuild it. Melbourne never lost theirs. It's a bloody good way to get around. On this trip, I've been visiting universities all over Victoria, basically working on like time management strategies for them. Because the reality is that like we're all so busy in our day-to-day lives and work that it can be really hard to get around to doing those sort of projects and things that are important but not urgent. You know, I think very often we get sucked into the habit of just paying attention to the tasks that seem to scream at us the most loudly. I've been working on this for like years now, just trying to get down a really good methodology, good techniques for managing your time really well. And I think we've got it pretty much dialed in the businesses that I help run now, which is obviously kind of awesome. And that's want to like spread that love, spread that technique to the people that I work with outside of our businesses so that they can basically do the same thing. It's funny because a lot of people think about time management and structuring their calendar and structuring their days really precisely, and the first response that you tend to hear from people as you go into this is like, oh yeah, but what about having like the time to be creative? But this is the kind of reality is that most people in their day-to-day work, they don't have time to be creative or to, you know, spend time just working on blue sky ideas and what have you, because they're so bogged down in the like nitty-gritty of the day-to-day. So the answer is, you know, when you're able to structure your time more effectively in a calendar, throughout your week, throughout your month, throughout your year, you can actually build in time where there's nothing scheduled. It's time for you to think about the big picture or work on creative projects or work on future-facing projects. So often we sacrifice the future for, you know, the urgency of today. So time management is critical if you really want to be flexible and creative. You literally structure in your flexibility and creativity. Isn't that nuts? But it's true and it really works. Look at this dude's track stand. So track stand is like when cyclists just like keep it, are able to stand in one place. That dude was doing really well. And now riding no hands up the hill, as you do. You know, very often we fear what we don't understand. People like see time management, getting their calendar super organised, like blocking out time to do certain stuff as just being like, you know, like a kind of nuts, overly structured way of living life. But I've totally found that the opposite is true. Whenever I've actually managed to stick to a schedule really ritualistically, I actually end up getting so much more done, and most importantly, like have so much less stress. So the things that I do work on, I'm more focused on them because I know I've got time blocked out for the things that are like repetitive or, you know, the urgent tasks that need to get done. Like that time is scheduled, and the things that aren't urgent, future facing, the creative stuff, I've got time for that too. It's all kind of blocked out. So don't fear what you don't know, just try. And if it doesn't work out, shrug. Like life is just all about learning and moving forward, isn't it? So give it a crack. This is literally one of my favourite places in Melbourne, Brunetti's. Like just the most awesome bakery cafe. Anyway, I've arrived at the destination for my first meeting. Duke's Coffee Roasters on Flinders Lane. 8 o'clock, straight up, straight into it. Gotta hustle it. If you're getting up to this today, I hope it's a good one. Look at this day, it's spectacular. Beautiful day. Hope you're having a good one. Take care. I'll see you next time on the morning walk. See you later.